The incense I'm burning today is Nirvana. It smells really nice actually. I really like the smell. And the tea that I'm drinking today is rosehip, guarana, and ginseng. I just burnt my mouth out. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about why we talk to plants, or do you talk to your plant? I speak to my plants quite a lot of the time, and I've actually named a lot of my plants. It's actually a really good idea if you name your plants. And the reason why, I don't know, it just gives them a bit more character, I suppose. So, for example, I have these. Oh, a really good example actually is these monsteras. I'm actually looking after my sister's monstera, and the monstera that she gave me to look after is called Atlas, and I think that's a really cool name. And I will speak to Atlas, and I will tend to her leaves, and I will speak to her, and I'll be like, I'll just talk. I will just speak really good intentions into my plant, and I really do feel like that helps. I really do feel like that helps. And there's even been like a couple of experiments that have been done in regards to, the frequency of plants and what you can actually like play to them as well. So, for example, the music that you actually hear in the background that I play a majority of the time is normally in 432 hertz, and that music is supposed to be very beneficial for plants, as well as ourselves as well. So that music is really good. Like this type of music really relaxes me and makes me feel very comfortable. Um, and yeah, it just makes me. It adds an ambiance and it makes me feel different, I suppose. Hey Zen. So yeah, I would say 432 music is really good, and there's also 528 hertz music is really good as well. So I would suggest playing those in the background, um, not just for yourselves but for your plants as well. So yeah, that's really good. Um, Another thing as well that I wanted to speak about is words and vibrations and frequency. So for example, there has been an experiment that has been done. There's quite a lot of experiments that have been done, but this specific experiment that had been done was getting rice. So two batches of rice, same rice, putting them in two different containers. And one of the rice, I think some children would come in and speak really negatively about, would speak really negative um, phrases and things to the rice, and then another group and the other rice, they spoke really positive things to the rice. And in the experiment, it actually revealed, oh, hey, Green Gang family, hey. And in the experiment, it actually revealed that the rice that was spoken to very negatively started to be like black and moldy and horrible. And the rice that got spoken to positively just stayed how it was. And there's even been experiments done on plants. So I myself, I've researched this. So I've looked into different experiments where people where people have actually bought two of the same plants, and they've just done a little experiment to see basically what will happen if you treat a plant really nice and you talk to it, give it lovely affirmations, speak loving words to it, and then if you got another plant and then you spoke very negatively towards the plant, and cussed it out, did really horrible things to it, yeah. And in that experiment, the plant obviously that thrived was the one that got spoken to in a really nice way, and then the plant that looked really horrible and was literally on the verge of like not coming back, it was dying, was the plant that the person spoke to in a really negative way. So words are very powerful, and you have to be very careful with the words that you use. This just illustrates that. So for example, with plants, it's no surprise that if you were to talk to your plant in a certain way, it would affect it. So we only want to be talking to our plants in a positive way. I get my daughter to speak to my plants too. That's amazing. It's really good. I do the same, like with my daughter, she speaks to the plants as well. And what I'm actually going to try and do as well, sorry, this incense is like choking me up. what I'm going to try and do as well, because I've got quite a lot of plants and I haven't named them all, is I actually want to go through them and name some plants. I'm not going to do it right now, but you guys have actually helped me. So over on my Instagram, indigenous.uk, some people have actually helped me name some of my plants, and I find it very fun. And I find it very special as well. It's like a naming ceremony for your plants. And if you yourself have plants at home and you're just looking at it like, I don't know what to call this plant. Another really good idea, and I think this was Tazaki. I remember speaking to Tazaki. We went on a live, and she was telling me, she was showing me her plants, and she was telling me that she named her plants after the original. She named her plants the same. I don't know how to explain it. She named her plants with the same initial as the plant is scientifically called, if that makes sense. So, for example, with a Monstera dissoluta, it was beginning with a M. So she remembered it was a Monstera dissoluta. And I think that's a really good idea. So, for example, if you know the scientific name for a specific plant and it begins with an S or something like that, you could break down and try and find a name that began with an S, for example. Or you could just name your plants your favourite thing. I don't know how you want to name your plants, but that's up to you. I'll leave you to decide on that. You could even put names in a hat and then like take the names out of the hat. It could be really fun. So there's an idea. If you've got plants in your house and they don't have names, you could go around naming them, or even just look at the plant and whatever comes to mind, you could name the plant that. Hey, Empress Vibrant. Hey, Shiv. Oh, thank you. My plants are now my babies. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I did that too. She said, I can never remember the species. Oh, yeah, exactly. So that's a really good way of remembering the species of the plant, especially if you're trying to learn. I've kind of given up. I kind of just abbreviate them. Yeah, but I mean, it would be nice to know the proper Latin terms of these plants, because it does sound quite it sounds really cool when you do know the names of them. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, talking to your plants is very important, and even touching your plants as well. So for example, I do mention this a lot, like when I'm watering my plants, I always tend to touch my leaves, because I'm actually looking, I'm kind of inspecting the leaves. So I'll look underneath my leaves, I'll touch the top of the leaves. And you have to remember as well, your hands have energy, your hands carry energy, right? And I do feel like when you put your hands on a plant, it's feeling your energy. So even just speaking to the plant or just stroking the plant, like I really like doing that. And do you know what? There are specific plants that have different types of textures. So my mum has I forgot the scientific name of it, but it belongs to the Califia family, and the leaves are very furry, and I think it begins with a W, and I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to try it. But I will go to her house and I will literally touch the plant because the leaves feel like velvet. They're so lovely. So with plants, you can get different types of textures. They come in different types of varieties. But I suppose the plants that are quite furry are quite cool to like touch and stuff like that. But you can still touch your plants even if they don't have a furry texture to them. They like it. They really do like it. So yeah. What else was I going to speak about? So yeah, we just spoke about like frequencies as well that you can play them, 432 and 528 hertz. I like to play that as well. I sometimes dance with my plants as well. I know I know this is a bit out there. Like this is like, where are you going with this? What do you mean you dance with your plants? But I do. Like if I'm in my living room and I'm dancing about because I'm playing music. It might not be 432 or 528 hertz, but it might just be any type of music, and I'm dancing. I might be misting them at the same time, and I'm like in my own little groove. So I'm misting them and I'm dancing at the same time, and I'm picking one up and I'm dancing. And I did a carnival special on my Insta where I'm literally like dancing with my plants. But I enjoy it. I really like it. It makes me happy and it makes them happy. And if it makes them happy and it makes them grow, then why not? Like, why not? And I think that's called, am I right in saying this? I think that's called, is it a symbiotic relationship? Because I'm benefiting from these plants being in my house, and these plants are benefiting from them living in my house because I'm giving them love and they're giving me oxygen and love right back. So I'm happy. I'm happy about that. What else was I going to speak about? I was also going to talk about is it symbiotic? I hope I'm saying it right, But basically there's like a relationship between two organisms and they both benefit from it. So for example, trees, and I'm going to kind of do a separate video for this, but trees, I was researching trees and mushrooms. So their relationship is actually really interesting. And what I can remember, from what I can remember, I found out recently that specific types, mushrooms grow on dead trees or dying trees, yeah? And specific types of trees will get nutrients from mushrooms. So just say, for example, there's a tree and it may be being overshadowed by other trees in the forest. Mushrooms have types of minerals and things that it needs for it to actually survive without it getting the sunlight from photosynthesis. So mushrooms is also like a really cool. Mushrooms are cool things because they've been around for billions of years actually, way before us. So yeah, and also as well, while we're on the subject of like symbiotic things, I suppose, this incense is actually making me really dizzy, But while we're on the subject of like things that are symbiotic, I suppose, my fish and my plants that live in my fish tank have a really good relationship. So for example, I've mentioned this quite a lot of times, but hydroponics is a really good way of you growing certain plants out of your fish tank. Basically what that is using the droppings and the minerals that are in the fish tank not to survive, but for it to get its minerals and what it needs to survive, I suppose. Yeah. So that's another good idea. If you have a fish tank and you want, your things to, I suppose, flourish, your plants to flourish, another good idea would be to use the fish tank water. And you don't actually have to put your plants in the fish tank because your fish might be a bit upset that you've got plants growing out of there. But you can use the fish tank water. So for example, if you're about to change your fish tank don't throw away the fish tank water, keep it and use it for your plants as a natural fertilizer. So that's good. Okay. I also wanted to talk about when your plant is dying. So for example, I've had a plant here, actually a succulent, and it's actually, I think I kind of forgot about it. And it's easy to do. Like I've got so many plants, it's quite easy for me to forget about the plants that I do actually have in my house, because I've got my flat show, so I've got plants in my room as well as my living room. And currently, sorry, I'm getting really, really hot. And currently, I'm burning up. Currently in my room, I'll do a little tour as well, but currently in my room at the moment, I have a few plants in there. But the plants I have in there are actually can plants. But this plant lives in there as well, yeah? And this is a succulent plant. This plant, I kid you not, turned grey. And I think it's because I wasn't really paying attention to it and I wasn't talking to this plant. I literally just forgot about it. But basically what I'm trying to say is, if you have a plant that's dying, on the verge of dying, you speaking to it can actually help it as well. So as well as using, cinnamon, Epsom salt, your nut spray, all these things, you can actually speak to your plant and set some intentions for your plant. So this plant, I wish I took a picture, but this plant was great. It was dying. I actually thought, oh my gosh, I can't buy any more succulents. I can't buy any more of you because I'm just not good. But then I stopped thinking that and I picked it up. I spoke to it and I was like, what is going on? Like, I've had you for such a long time. Like, what's happening? And then what I did is I got some spirulina. And I sprinkled some spirulina on top of the actual soil, and I poked the spirulina in the soil. I watered it a little bit because I flooded it because it's a succulent. They don't need as much watering as a normal plant, so I flooded it because the soil was quite dry. And I haven't watered the plant since. But lo and behold, I've turned around and like it's doing way better. Like I'm actually surprised. It's doing way better. And I think with succulents, what starts to happen is when they're on the verge of dying, they kind of either dry out or they go really mushy. And I think this was on the verge of drying out. It's still a little bit dry. As I'm touching it, it's still a little bit dry. But I think a good idea would be for me to just literally just stroke it like this. Because like I said, I've got energy in my hands. So I'm literally just going to be speaking to this plant and making sure that I, as well as misting it and speaking to it, that I'm also touching it as well. I actually feel like I got magic hands. Because I'm telling you, this plant was dying. And I need to start taking, documenting it because I think it's just so cool. So now I have like a little procedure that I've kind of just discovered because I was really trying my hardest to save this plant. So my procedure is, if I have a dying plant, I'll pick it up, I'll start talking to it, like, what's going on? What's wrong with you? What's happening? And then I will just touch it and just be like, you need to get better, man. Like, you need to grow big and strong. Like, this is not cool. And then I'll get my spirulina, I'll put it in the soil. And I will warn you, with spirulina, once you put it on top of the soil, you will start noticing mold. And I feel like it does that because it's I feel like it does that because it's a natural organic material, I suppose. Oh hey, sorry, hey. Oh thank you, sorry, I'm not even paying attention to the chat. I'm really sorry about that. I was just like in a flow and I was like really overheating as well. A second ago, I've cooled down now. But hey Zipporah. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying now. But yeah, this plant, the mold, that's it, the mold. So if you put spirulina on top of the soil, you will get a little bit of mold in. But what I've started to realise is that not all mold is bad mold. What I've started to realise is that not all mold is bad mold. And I say this to say that mold belongs to the fungus family. You have to remember that mushrooms come from fungi as well, so it's not all bad. I feel like when people speak about fungi, even myself, like I never used to eat mushrooms. Like I love mushrooms now. It's like replaces my chicken. But but before I ate mushrooms, I didn't go anywhere near them. Like me and my mum were really scared of mushrooms because they were fungi, and that's how we just left them. So I had a really negative connotation with mushrooms because of the fungi element to it. And I say this to say that the mold that is going to be coming from the spirulina is good mold, because like I just explained, with me mixing it about into the soil, the plant has literally just popped out. Like even the color, the green of the spirulina, I'm assuming, is making the plant more green in color. Like I don't really know, to be honest with you. Like I'm just using my intuition, and I'm seeing results. I'm seeing results. I really do believe if I didn't do this to the plant, it would be dead. I would be upset. I would like be looking at this plant in the shop and being like, I can't buy you because I kill you. So the fact that it's alive, I'm really happy. So the moral of the story is talk to your plants, sing to your plants, touch the plants, play music to plants, just love the plants because it's alive. It's alive in a nutshell. Okay, so that is all today. I don't know why I'm laughing. That is all I have left for you today. That's all I have for you today. I'm so tired, as you can tell. I'm just not even making sense now. But oh, hi everyone, hi. But I'm gonna go now because that is all I wanted to speak about. And I hope this video has inspired you to talk to your plants. If you have any questions, oh, thank you. Hey Ruby. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I can see them and answer them next week. But I think that's it for now. So yeah, if you have any plants at home that you haven't named, a good idea would be to name them. You don't have to, but if you want to, a naming ceremony would be really cool. You could ask your friends or family to help you, or you could just pick random words out of a hat and theme them. That would be quite cool. I'm giving myself ideas because I've got so many more to name. But I will be asking you guys to help me name them because I do feel like it's a fun little activity that we have where we just like, tell me what you think this plant's called, and I just put the names in a hat and I'll pick a name, and yeah, I think that's a really cool way. So yeah, without I think that's it. I was gonna say without further ado. I don't know why I'm gonna say that. Let me just go. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, everyone who's joined me, and I will see you on Monday. Dig deep, keep on digging to the genius that is inside of you. Thank you very much. Take care and bye.